So congratulations, Eve and Tallulah, on Our Ladies. I enjoyed this movie immensely.
Thank you very much. That's lovely.
So I suppose my first question for you guys was, can you walk me a bit through the audition process for Our Ladies? And then also, how important was it for you to nail that Scottish accent? Because I think, Tallulah, you're Scottish. I'm not sure, Eve, if you are yourself or...
Yeah, no, Midlands.
But the fact that you can't tell is very good.
There you go.
So you're actually speaking to the two members of cast that came on the latest. So I think I came on I read for Orla probably about 3 or 4 weeks before filming, before rehearsal started, and did a quick take, did an audition. But Eve didn't sign the contract. I mean, I was in Glasgow and they were like, we don't know if this girl's going to come or not. I was like, who is she?
Vicious rumours going around that I was going to not do it. But I was literally like a week. I did a tape and then went to London like a few days later and then got a call that I was leaving to fly out literally within about 2-3 days. So it was really, really quick for me.
Wow. And that's so interesting that you guys like joined last and everything. I suppose it's always the way with these things. It just slowly all comes together or something.
Yeah. Well, it's such a little patchwork of girls, isn't it? Like the whole thing, and the fact that we are so different from each other. I think it must have been hard to get the right combination.
Absolutely.
And then in terms of your question about the accent, so obviously when you do an audition, you get like a certain amount of sides, and you can kind of wing being able to do an accent for like a certain amount of sides. So I think I did okay. I watched my tape back the other day and I was a bit like, oh gosh, they were generous with me. But I think I just about managed it with like watching like some like Trainspotting a few times. But then when we got to Glasgow, we did like an unexpected read through quite early on. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. Does that mean I got to do all the other scenes? And I was literally like, it wasn't good. And I think I was sat next to Abigail and she was like, don't worry, we'll help you. But we did have a wonderful accent coach called Jo. With, and she's
wonderful.
She really helped, because even though you girls, a lot of you are Scottish, it was a very specific accent you had to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that also Eve did have the most difficult job, because the five of like the rest of five, whatever, brain mess, we all had to have like a similar accent, but because Eve's character Kay is supposed to be a little bit posher, I think it's really hard to do, because there's not that many posh Scottish accents like out there in Scottish film. Like when you think about Trainspotting and stuff, there's not, you can't really then like reference Trainspotting. That's why it's so wrong. And we're all like, Eve, I think you should sound a bit more middle class than that. And she was like, what?
Yeah, I just watched Trainspotting on loop.
Oh, that's gas. Oh, you guys, like just watching you two together, you bounce off each other so well. And that's something that really, really struck me about the movie, was the chemistry you guys have. It's as if you've been friends for years and years. So did you guys get to kind of hang out and spend time together, develop that rapport even outside of shooting? I saw some behind the scenes shots actually on social media today, which were just adorable.
Yeah, we did. There was like a huge emphasis from the production team on us building genuine friendships with each other, and we had a rehearsal period of about 3 weeks where we were just like, I think we went to the spa, we went out for dinners, and we're like, who are we pretending to be here? But it was amazing, and we all lived in flats with one other cast member, and it honestly, it felt like within a week, it felt like these girls were my best friends. It was, I never ever, I didn't expect that to happen, but it was so easy, wasn't it?
No, I've never had a job like that where you do come away with just being like, oh yeah, like, you know, all 6 of us all stay in touch all the time. We all have a really overactive WhatsApp group, which has been very active today, and everyone's like, what are you wearing? And it's like, I don't know, it was really lovely. And I have to say, it is just the rehearsal time, like having rehearsed every scene so many different ways, so many different times, getting to have a bit of a laugh with each other, getting to have just that space to just sit in a room with each other. It's so important. And then when it got to the filming, I think everyone felt quite fearless with each other, at least. Not with the Scottish weather, but with each other, yeah.
Right. Something I've read about for Our Ladies is it's getting compared to Derry Girls quite a bit, kind of Derry Girls set in Scotland. Both of them, are set in the 90s and they follow young women coming of age. I was wondering what you thought about that comparison. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's interesting?
I think it's endemic of like how few films we have about young women. Like I have to say it's like the comparisons between, and then it's like Derry Girls, Booksmart, and then they talk about like Pitch Perfect, and it's like, wow, we really don't have that many films that just follow young women. Like we really don't.
Google groups of women,
and then you're like, right, there's been one other one this year. Like, and we love Derry Girls. We think it's absolutely phenomenal. But I have to say, a lot of the people that instantly made that comparison, they are English. It is like that thing of, I get it, because it's like Catholic schoolgirls, there's the Celtic names, I get it 100%. But I would say that they're really different, and that like it is just a very English thing, isn't it? Being like, of course, Northern Ireland, Scotland, basically the same, and you're like, what?
But if anyone wants to combine and do another film,
I'd take the contract.
I'm so up for it.
We'd get paid for that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love that idea of bringing them together. Although obviously like your characters are a little, a bit more mature, a bit like kind of more sexually liberated. So, you'd have to kind of keep the Derry Girls very young and innocent, I think.
We take them with come along for the ride.
Oh, I love that. But that was another thing that kind of struck me. It's interesting you say there's so few, kind of portrayals of women still across film and TV. And another thing that Our Ladies does, which is really interesting, is how kind of open it is about sexuality. And I was thinking that's like conservative for the 90s, but actually to a contemporary audience, it's still very unusual to see. So I was wondering, what are your thoughts on that? And was that something that kind of struck you in the script as well?
Yeah, I think it's like, especially watching it, I think it's really rare to see a film, and especially about like teenage girls, where they are sexual beings but they're never sexualized, and I feel like they get to express themselves and be like, I mean, some character in particular, possibly, she's very clear about what she wants, and you find that early out in the film, and it's like that's really rare to see that be like taken seriously and being like, no, we're going to take this young woman's desire completely seriously and give her the opportunity to explore it. I mean, it doesn't happen as much, but obviously, I mean, it happens in real life. But it's
and as well, I think if it were a film about teenage boys, there would be no question at all to if they were very sexual and talked about all of those things. I think it is really rare to see women of any age talking really comfortably only with one another, because a lot of the time there's no men present in the scenes, and it's like that is genuinely truthful. Like if you're with your women friends, that's first on the menu of things to talk about.
Love it.
It's true.
I think I only have time for one or two more questions. So I suppose I was wondering, how like your characters do you think you are in reality?
Oh, well, I mean, literally nothing like
that. Edith's definitely, I would say, the most opposite.
I remember when Michael, when we got to know Michael really well, and he like turned to me one night and he was like, "Darling, I'm so shocked you can do this." He was like, "You're nothing like her." I was like, "Yeah, no, acting, baby."
Yeah, I'd say everyone's pretty different to the characters, to be honest. Like,
I do see little pieces of you in Ola.
Yeah,
little pieces.
Yeah, no, I think that. Yeah, she was a character that weirdly, until I'd sort of like met Michael and I played it a few times in front of him, and then I was like, oh wow, no, I think I'd like literally kill for this young lady. Like, she's just, there's something about the way that she's like a young old person, and I think it's just because of her experience up to that point. She knows how lucky she is to be there, and she loves her friends so much, and that's just, it's such a rare quality to just like see in someone that young, and it's really lovely to see, I think.
Absolutely, 100%. I think I'm just about out of time, but my very final question for you guys, I suppose, would be, there's just such an infectious sense of fun from this movie. You just feel it off the screen. You want to go out and party with these girls. What was the most fun scene to shoot, or what was the most fun aspect of the production overall?
Oh, I'd say that the most like fun aspect is definitely like each other, which is like, it's not a copy out answer. I would just be like, any time I think all of us were together in a pack,
Oh, it was mayhem.
It was absolute mayhem. Like mayhem. Towards the end of the film, everyone's journeys start to coincide and they end up on a night out. And it's just like a scene. Yeah, all of us running about Glasgow Paralands together was like, we had such a good time. Like it did at times just really feel like summer camp. Like you'd forget that you were filming.
I do think sometimes we were a bit naughty, weren't we? Like when we were on the bus, I think there was a night when we were doing a night shoot and we were just chatting away in between takes. And I think eventually someone was like, girls, please shut up now.
It's gone too far the other way. You're not having too much of a good time, please. We just all want to get wrapped so we can just go to our hotels. And we're like, oh yes, of course, sorry. Yeah. But no, definitely, yeah, anything that we got to hang out with packing.
I think the scenes that were really fun with the dancing stuff.
Oh yeah, really fun. No, I mean, actually, I'm saying that was fun. I found it absolutely terrifying because I'm not coordinated at all. And there's like a point where I was meant to be doing a jazz square and I was like, we'll just do a jazz square. And I was like, no, guys, I don't know what this is.
This is what I mean about Ola and Tallulah. They think much.
Yeah, and our knowledge of not understanding what a jazz square is really, really similar.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I could actually talk to you girls all day, but I know you have other interviews to do for this gorgeous movie. So congratulations on it again. And thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
You too. See you now.
It was an innocent time. Back in the days when anything was possible.
That's beautiful.
What a day. It's not often you get what you pray for, is it? Fresh meat, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.